Hey, everybody, what's going on? I'm waiting on the young lady to enter this live. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Y'all gonna have to bear with me. Hey, there we go, We back on track.
Yes.
Sorry for the inconvenience, people, but for those who may not be in tune to what we was talking about, the topic is the lack of the ability for black men and women to get along. Um, I think we left off with me asking or us talking about what is your opinion on what a real man is. You touched bases on that, and as I was saying, I hear a lot of women saying that, and I think that's based on what they what they father, brother, or maybe little girl coming up. You get what I'm saying? Um, and I just think for a woman growing up like that and entering a relationship, I think she need to be like a little conscious that all men treat her like her father or brother or uncle may treat them. You get what I'm saying? And and that may be a part of the reason why some of us don't get along because that may be implemented in a relationship toward a person that don't know nothing about that upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Called confusion. You know what I'm saying? Another thing comes in between um the getting along of men and women, preferably black. Um Religion. Different period. You know what I'm saying? Some of us have been taught how to love correctly or even accept love for that matter. You know what I'm saying? So the ability for us to get along can go a long way. I'm just more concerned to what we can come up with so we can start getting along, having the conversations on a level where we're not fussing, fighting, and arguing with one another. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether it's behind closed door in the comfort of your home in your room or out in public. It's real bad when it's out in public, you know what I mean? Or in front of the
Yeah.
I'm out sometimes see people arguing out in public or even their kids. If they arguing in public, they damn sure don't care about doing it in front of their children. And it's just a bad taste. So I'm just trying to air it out a bit so some people can hear these conversations and at least get to thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Coming up with some form of idea about their individuality on what they can change that can help their relationship or something in their future be that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um Another question. What is your take on the happy wife? You know how uh happy wife, happy life. Like to what extent? Because is that like as long as the woman is happy, forget about what the man is going through, forget about his peace and happiness. You know what I'm saying? Because I see it a lot, and what I see is if the woman happy, no matter what else is going.
See, on my take on that, it's funny that you say that. I mean, you'll think that I'll be an advocate of for that, but to be quite honest, it's not true. You know what I mean?
On.
Um, if you're gonna first, Whew, it's so much that I can speak on this.
Speak, talk to me. Let's air.
As you be with somebody, right? And that sounds so weird because it's an echo coming in my ear, so that's why I sound kind of slow, a little slow on this. But everybody go through different stages of their life. You go through many different, like, as you think, as you grow, you begin to have different perspectives. And as you with this person, they may not be the same person that they may be when you first met them. And then you go through this other phase with this person. So I think happy wife, happy life, I think that's just all bullshit. I think if everybody come together and grow together to learn each other and grow to understand each other and have that open communication where there's no judgment, where you can be yourself and y'all can begin to grow with each other as that, I think that would be a different way of living.
So
I
you
think that's an old concept. I think it's a concept that was probably good for our ancestors or our grandparents, but we're in a different age now, so I think it's a different way of looking at relationships where it could be more beneficial for the both of you.
you more familiar, or you agree more with the concept of happy spouse, happy house. I heard that before as well. You know what I'm saying? Now, to me, love it sound good. Happy spouse, that means, as long as everybody each other's obligations to make one another happy, then you household. You know what I'm saying? Y'all working as a unit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
100% of peace instead of the 50-50 or the 30-70.
yeah,
I agree that sometimes the roles fluctuate with who carry the most weight, but at the end of the day, y'all both putting in 100%. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Even if the person is pulling in 30, that's 100% of 30. You get what I'm saying? That's
right.
100, or however you look at it. You know what I mean? Um, do the happy spouse, happy house. You know what I'm saying? I just think in order for these relationships to work, preferably, men and women of our color, is that we got to be able to have conversations. And if we can't have the conversations amongst ourselves with each other, then we need to start having it with with friends. Friends, family, some maybe even coworkers.
Mhm.
In my opinion, the thing is, if we can allow ourselves to discuss it with one person, two people, three people, then it'll make it more easier for you to discuss it with in your household. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause some people don't even like to have a discussion with they. I mean, listen. Now we both know all that so many people know. God, come to- and we had discussions. We had talks about all kind of. Most of the time, it's about how to how to better pursue the future. You know what I mean? But they not having these conversations with their woman. You know what I'm saying? They seeking understanding, which is good,
Okay.
which is good. But in my opinion, a lot of women too, but a lot of men seek conversation outside the home because the woman ain't making the man comfortable enough inside the house to have those conversations with her. You know what I'm saying? So, hey,
Okay, so because when you say that, can you break it down? Like, what is it where a woman is making a man uncomfortable, and what is it? Why can't they have? Like, was it a point of time where they were able to talk to each other, or have it always been like that?
now in some cases, really can't because I don't really try. People let them vent. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I answer questions. They right, I give it. Really, just enough topics. But you know, just based on the whole thing with how men supposed to be, you know, we all grew up with the concept of damn near holding our tongue. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
some of us don't know can talk about to our woman. You know what I'm saying? Without being looked at as a crybaby. You know? So some and shit, a lot of that do come and talk to me. They of that they grew up under that concept. Which
Mm.
is not really normal to open up to a woman like that. Which in turn,
Yeah.
it definitely would help the relationship and both of them get along. You know what I'm saying? So and just as an individual, when you have a discussion with a person that you care for like you do, then it's easier to understand it rather than you getting an understanding outside of home. The how y'all can you know what I'm saying? Because y'all ain't on one accord.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
go ahead, go ahead.
like I could tell you some things that drive us women insane. A lot of the times we don't like it when a man just don't communicate. Like they don't know how to have a conversation. Um, it seems like a lot of men are tend to be like they make themselves bigger than what they really are when it could just be natural.
See now, if a woman, I don't, I now I'm just this is just my opinion because I really
Mm.
just something I just mind. If a man is doing that and a woman can recognize, like, man, this dude, is it okay that a woman can approach that situation to let their man know that it's okay to be himself? Because I get where you coming from. I do, guys,
Hey, hey.
I do see a lot of guys that portray themselves to be more than what they are to their woman. But now I'm not there. I don't know if the woman kind of like approaches that topic. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do a woman make a man comfortable to being himself? You know, especially knowing putting on the front for.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm super chill.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So I'm at the point now in my life, in order for me to even come meet with you or get to see you or anything, we have to already have those deep conversations prior. I'm still kind of sort of old school with some things.
mm.
So I don't know. I think it's just up to the individual itself. But what I have experienced is that a lot of men tend not to be knowledgeable of themselves, and they tend to just be on I hate women because they've been hurt, and I get it. And then us women that has been hurt, we don't. Some of us, not all of us, we don't hold on to it. We just go on and having different expectations of what to look out for. I think now the caliber of man that I'm looking for, like I said, or what I look for in men is knowledge of self, always looking to learn, and pretty much have common sense. And that's hard to find nowadays.
It is a lot of misguided, but you know what?
Oh, I hate this echo. It's throwing me off.
You good because I can't hear it. I can't. Maybe
Okay.
you got your earpods in.
I do. I have these earpieces in, but I may have to turn it off.
Yeah, that's probably.
But keep going.
Um, I almost lost track of thought. Question. Um, do you think? because I was having a conversation with a female friend the other day, and we was talking about dating, which is a whole nother topic. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it kind of the question or my opinion kind of has something to do to what we're talking about, and I think that women before and during, they entering something serious or plan on getting into some serious marriage or whatnot, I think that um and all women ain't like this, but majority of women I think need to take like a accountability course, some type of test, some type of test, like for real, like no bull crap. A lot of women fail to take accountability,
What
and
do you think, not to cut you off, but do you think that comes from that princess mindset too?
of course, yes, it all comes from a mindset and your upbringing. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not willing to be accountable for the things you do and say, um, how's that gonna carry you into the future? Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of successful people that don't take accountability, but how's that gonna work when you're trying to build a relationship with somebody? You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to enter a marriage or build a serious foundation with a person that you claim to love. Now the both parties gonna do some things that's gonna take some accountability. You know what I'm saying? And when one person is not taking accountability, it's hard to get over a situation when one person is not admitting to their flaws or even trying to correct it. Because if you ain't accepting your accountability, you ain't and your mindset ain't willing.
So if they accepted that, not to change. I
Exactly.
I think in both parties, you know, it's a lot of that where they don't want to hold themselves accountable. But once you be true and find yourself, then you'll even admit it. Like, dang, I realized I did this. I didn't realize how it hurt you. I do take accountability for that. I do apologize. Now, what can we do to help me if I end up doing this again? Because it's a habit. So we know that habits is gonna take some time. Things is not gonna work out. What can we do to help where I can stop doing it? If we can have those real conversations, then I'll make the relationship go to another level. But where if you feel like this is my mind frame. If I ever be in a relationship, I want it to be where we get to know each other, but I want you to be free to be who you are. Because I'm going to be free of who I am because I already accept me. And I think once a person accepts their flaws, to be able to take a stand to change that flaw and be like, well, that flaw made me be the person that I am today. But it's all about your mental.
Right.
And I
That
think it's just all the different approaches of one another. I, even in them times where you don't like what they're saying, but if you really truly care about that person, I look at love as the action, as an emotional thing. So if they take them steps, they really love you, they'll see how that makes you feel, and then it's gonna probably with time make them feel right. I don't like this is leaving my partner, my spouse, or whoever I'm with. I'm not liking how it's having their whole body demeanor. You begin to see things that you know what I mean that you want them to experience. And once you get out of your ego trip, and once you get out of your me trip, and go into okay, this is both of us. We both have a plan, but in order to move forward, let's try to change this so we can be able to go on to the next step. It's gonna be always something that's gonna come up. Always.
right. Um, I like your feedback. I definitely like your feedback. Yeah, the ability for men and women to get along, man. I like I say, we can go on for a very long time with trying to come up with ways and give our opinion on this topic. Um,
I mean, I'm gonna be very honest. The thing that really turns me off with a lot of men is like the male misogyny or the misogynistic way of thinking,
Okay.
like these gender roles and all this stuff. Probably back in the day, it probably would have been beneficial, but now we're in a new time.
Definitely in the new day and age. Definitely.
So this women get and they need to cook or they need to stay at home and raise kids. We not in that age right now. I mean, things are so expensive. So we actually need everyone to come together. It's starting to get to the point where personally, this new day and age is now starting to have the involvement of everyone. That's
You breaking up. You cracking up. You was more clear. You was kind of more clear when you had the things in your ear. But
let me put it back in. Let me try to put it back in. Like, the echo is not there anymore. That's why I'm like,
I'm glad you kind of brought that up, the masculinity thing or whatever, the misogynistic and all that. Um, that's interesting you say that because I definitely have some questions on that as well. That can definitely be another reason why we don't get along. You know what I'm saying? Because the the
mm,
the masculinity in women. You know what I'm saying? Some men
I,
soft, some women are too fucking strong, or so to speak, too masculine.
I got a few reasons. I mean, not reasons, but I'm glad that you brought that up because I noticed that, and I'm just gonna talk off of my experience. I'm not gonna talk off of just anybody. But when I became very masculine in a relationship, what I noticed when you do your shadow work afterward, what I noticed was that this man that I was with was more so of a liability, and it felt like I had to step up, still be with him, still raise this relationship, and he ain't really doing anything to put forth. But I'm still trying to. I started to get to the point where I just got sick of him. So it ended up coming out where I had more of a masculine spirit towards him. It got to the point where it was disrespectful.
Okay, now this is my thing right here because I hear a lot of women use that, and I don't want to say as an excuse because I'm not a woman. You get what I'm saying? So I
Right.
keep on the thought process of what they feel, but I say this because although that I mean we are human and we adults and we all got to take on some type of responsibility once we reach a certain age and bring certain things into our my question is why is it that women think they got to take on a masculine trait because they're taking care of responsibility, because at the end of the day, whether a man is there or not, you still may have to do those.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
Hold on for a second. Now,
oh my bad. Go ahead.
a woman can still take care of business and still portray femininity. You know, that softness, that touch. Now, I get if you dealing with a person and the frustration is going on, the irritation is going on, so you're not really in your loving state of mind. You're not you don't want to talk soft. You don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to speak softly to the person that you're in the house with because you're frustrated with that person.
I
Uh,
think it's the kind. Oh, I'll keep going. I'm sorry. I think it'd be at first you do have that loving demeanor. I'm like, okay, but when it's constant disappointment, constant letdowns, one thing that I learned was learning expectation and learning accepting. You know what I mean? You begin to have, this is my growing up, you have blurred vision of somebody being where you can hold that high expectation with versus accepting that this person have this continuous pattern accept the person how they is and deal with it, or move on.
Right. So therefore, it's really not necessary to take on a masculine trait.
Right. You could just move on. But when I was still trying to hold on to something and make it out where I had like this fairy tale look at it versus looking at it from a logical standpoint and looking at the situation for how it is, I was looking at the potential, and that's where the frustration would come in. Not saying that it's right, but I'm just being just very honest.
Right. Right. I understand.
When once you have this certain vision and you see this great attribute in somebody, if you really care for them, you kind of push them to do it. But all in the midst, you lose a vision of who you are. And
Right.
that's why I say no, don't ever go with no potential, because potential is still trying to figure it out where you already trying to figure yourself out. And that's why I say very strongly before getting into any type of relationship, you really have to learn yourself first. Because once you learn yourself first, you'll begin to see the people who you want to be able to be around and have those.
Right. I agree. I agree. Now, this is what I do know. Most of us, and I say us because we grew up.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We know some of the same people and parents and all this old stuff.
Right.
Most of us grew up not um, not even knowing to behave in a relationship. We wasn't taught the fundamentals of maintaining a relationship. You know what I'm saying? We are freestyling. We watched a few movies,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and we put it into our state of mind. Now we got this idea of how a relationship's supposed to be. So we are really just like learning with the course of
Hmm.
day and time. You know what I mean? Because like I say, we ain't had that upbringing on relationship, let alone life. You know what I mean? So
Mm-mm.
it is a trial and error. You know what I mean? But how long is that trial and error acceptable? You get what I'm saying? For a person to
Right.
the concept, it gets frustrating after a while. I agree with you. Um,
I'm probably the worst person to talk on this. To
but
be quite honest.
that,
My thing is, I after I gave advice
mhm.
and after I seen that you can't take my advice and you continue to still go do that same I can't watch somebody go through a vicious cycle and watch them be a dime. I just can't. That's just me. I
But
always want to see
we
the good, and then once I see that you continued it, then I fall back, and then you won't see me no more.
I think we all get caught up in the thin line between the cut off line. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Us don't know when to cut it off because we so used to struggle and
Mm.
frustration that when we come into that pattern of struggle and frustration, we always try to cope with it, or we always try to come up with a way to get past it, other than you know what, I had enough. You know what I'm saying? Let me try something. Let me choose something different.
Hmm.
Where that's where the frustration comes from. We really be frustrated with ourselves because we don't know how to cut this shit off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And sometimes we don't know how to approach the situation to have a conversation with the other person. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think that over time it levels up, you know what I'm saying? And then the woman take on the masculinity trait with the frustration. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I don't think that it's necessary for the woman to take on the masculinity trait, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's still life. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to take care of those responsibilities with or without a man. You know what I'm saying? If y'all going 100, then rock, roll. Because a man, a man can tell a woman, you know what? I don't want you to work. I want you to stay at home, take care of the and do nothing. I'm gonna pay all the bills. I'm gonna take care of the car, this, that, and the other. But guess what? Even though that man went to work, when he come home, he still got to be a father, a husband. You know what I'm saying? So he got to protect, provide, teach. You know what I'm saying? He got to discipline.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? He may have to come home and fix some shit around the house. So it's like a woman still got it easy. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? So if you have to step up and take on a couple more or some bills, why?
I think I'm glad that you said that because something just came up into my head. Now you saying this, that'd be so easy, and um, I probably am using this kind of loosely. I wish I have a better term, but once we see a woman see that, okay, her man is able to come around and do things around the house and do things to make life easier, it seems like that's a balance. But when it's unbalanced, that's when abnormalities begin to occur, or things begin to kind of have it to where, she will kind of fuss about things. Now, say for example, I'm in a relationship, right? I'm working, I'm making the majority of the money or whatever. But however, I have a man, he got his little hustles. You know what I mean? He bring in some income, but he makes sure food is done. You know what I mean? He makes sure the house, everything around the house is taken care of. Grass mowed, things is getting done. That's a different thing. I'm watching a man. I'm going to be able to submit to that man and do whatever it is that he has to do. But if I have a man that is, I'm working, he ain't making no type of sacrifices. He's always spending money. He always kicking it. Want to smoke 7 times a day, weekend, let's party, let's turn up, but he don't bring no type of income, no type of structure, no type of thing. That's off balance.
Well, then that's evident that you picked wrong.
The wrong one. But that's where a lot of the frustrations that women go through when they end up choosing these men that's giving them or telling them this versus actually seeing what a real man is. Some women have to experience it. Unfortunately, a lot of women are experiencing it, but also it's a lot of single men too. I mean, father men too.
True.
It's more prevalent now versus when we was growing up.
Definitely is.
You
A lot more men
and
take kids and all,
being the
you know what I mean?
and
I
and
see
it's showing
all the single.
that now a lot of men are starting to, yeah, salute to those men because we don't talk about that enough. Where it's a lot of women that's out here doing bum shit. You know what I mean?
Right, 100.
And I I think the men that are like that, they begin to have more of an understanding for single women, and those relationships, which I have seen, end up prospering when a man have to go through what a woman have to go through in order to understand her.
Okay. I appreciate that on speak like that too, man. Some women won't open up and just say, I appreciate your honesty. Masculinity. Anything else you want to voice on that?
Um, I mean, now I do have a question. How do you feel about now this is starting to become more prevalent, but where they having more of the ethical non-monogamy or poly versus my monogamy.
How do I feel about it?
Hmm.
Man, ooh,
I'm looking at the face expression like, ooh, it's
I
a
guess
lot with that.
it all depends on the person that's involved. You know what I'm saying? Now, I had my share of fun in life, but and honesty, I think I would be. I think I'm tilted more to just having one woman.
Right.
Now, in a different perspective, I would be like, oh yeah, I need two women. You know what I'm saying? Based on my lifestyle. You get what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah.
Um, Years ago, I'd be like, yeah, I need a couple of them, couple of them to make.
Now it's just.
But now it's like, man, give me one woman and with some direction, and that's willing to accept direction. You know what I'm saying? Level headed and that's somewhat balanced because all of us are fucked up. You know what I'm saying? We are
Hmm.
type of guidance. But give me something I can work with, and we gonna work. We gonna work with it. You know what I mean? All
Make it happen.
all that other stuff is extra. It's entertainment. I know I
Right.
use the excuse to the more the merrier. You know what I'm saying? We can do more
Mm.
with it being more.
Mm.
It all depends if the mind capacity can handle it. I didn't
Right.
think many people tried. It worked for a little bit and then it fall apart. You may have one or two women that stick around for the duration. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
from what I see throughout history and everything, that it's gonna be it's gonna be people gonna hit on you. You know what I'm saying? You might be left with one, but like we've been saying, so for us to be
Sorry.
no, running around with several different women under the same roof. For one, I'm quite sure it can be frustrating. You know what I'm saying? But is it necessary? Is the question? Is it necessary? You know what I'm saying?
I think if it's a plan or a vision, they make it happen where for several different things it could be beneficial. Now, I have this question.
Like you
I
say,
notice like more and more like older people are starting to live, they're married, but they live separately. How do you feel about people that do that? But they're together, but they just live in separate places.
that's stupid. I had a
Why you say that?
because like me personally, what we living in a different house for? Like we that fucked up. We can't live in the same house. You know what I'm saying? Like if we that messed up, let's just cut it. Like
Okay.
in my opinion, because for me, when I lay down, I'm gonna want to lay next to my woman, whether we having sex or not. I want to
Mm,
be, what I'm saying, next to a warm body. I want to be able to hold on to a woman and feel that the comfortness of a woman. You know what I'm saying? I want to be held at night too. Sometimes, you know what I mean, by my woman.
okay.
I want to be laying in that cold, half of the bed cold. Oh,
Filled with snacks and shit right there on the side. Book snacks.
and on a more like to go even deeper. We was here to be couples. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no man nor woman here to be alone. We weren't made like that at all. We was here for man and woman. Whatever else they got going on today, that's some other stuff. But we was here,
Mm-hmm.
in a different topic, another conversation that I'm
Mm-hmm.
open to have. But we was here for that, and that's another reason why a lot of mental health is going on because there's a lot of single people in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people in the house
Mm-hmm.
spending a whole lot of hours by themselves with their thoughts. That ain't how it
Mm-hmm.
goes. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason
Mm-hmm.
why
That's
so,
a good topic right there.
there's so much trouble people out here, man. You can't just be by yourself, man. That ain't. We all need somebody to talk to. We all need somebody to love, and we all need somebody to just pour it into. And we need somebody to pour it into us. That's how. That's what keep us sane. Conversation
Mm-hmm.
keep us sane. If we're not having a conversation, you're gonna go crazy. That's why people talk to God. You know what I'm saying? That's another conversation. That's why people talk to therapists and counselors and so to speak. So you don't go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what your life, your upbringing is, you need that other person. That's the best.
now, now, bringing that up because you did bring something up about like mental illness, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I think that is a lot that's prevalent in our communities, but I don't think a lot of people are taking on to the resources that are out there, or we have lack of resources. Do you think that play a role in how our community is when it comes to relationship wise?
A lot. Yeah, yeah, heck yeah. For one, like I say, people not comfortable enough to have conversation. That's another reason why I even started this platform for us to have conversations to spread understanding on the
Hmm.
topics. You get what I'm saying? So once people start being more familiar and more comfortable with conversations, these conversations can be we can have understanding. You know what I'm saying? And then be more comfortable with even being around certain people that ain't functioning right. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So and
Now, let me ask about, like, as you said, the certain areas and topics. What if, you have two people that's together and there is mental illnesses that's going on and those relationships become toxic? How do people be able to break onto those, like, get into those type of relationships where they have those real deep, serious conversations where they probably don't even recognize it as mental illness? They look at it as this is something that I've seen my whole life, not understanding how that trauma brought a lot to a relationship too.
well, in that case, that person will have to be it'll take for that person to be open to talking to other people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And being receptive to what they saying. Because once a person is open to talking to other people and receptive to the conversation, then that means they done took a step forward to being able to change their thought process. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, most definitely.
once you're able to accept conversation about the touchy topic, then you can start thinking about ways to better yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you just not receptive to anything, then you're gonna remain the same. So
And it's a lot of people, I think, they don't change and they don't see it as a problem. I think that's a huge thing that goes on in our community too.
that's
Because they
just
don't see it as a problem. They're seeing it as,
that's just
okay, well, my parents went through it and they got it and they made out, but dang, okay, enough is enough. There's only so much that we could take of that.
to get back on topic. That goes in line with when people are in relationships and they not being receptive to conversations because when a person bring it to them, they like, well, this how I am.
Sorry, my son is just gonna run. I'm trying to do something. Stop. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like some people be in relationships and one person may address the dislike about the other person. Their response may be, well, this I always been like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Or they be like, well, I'm a Cancer, I'm an Aries, I'm a Taurus, you know, speaking about the signs. Well, I'm this how I am. Okay, well, since you know this how you are, what are you doing to change it? You know what I'm saying? To enhance your individuality. Some people are so comfortable with their misery that they don't
Yeah.
even try to change it. They just pass it on to people and tell others like, "This how I am. This is me. Accept it or leave it." You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
mindset right there.
Yeah. And that's so true. That's so true. And speaking of that, like, the zodiac signs is just pure entertainment. That don't really necessarily mean that's who you are. Each person have their characteristics, and that's all structured in the
You
pretty much in the DNA. So
feel me?
that's another topic. So
Don't get me wrong. You can read some of the things all day long and be like, oh, this sound like this. Yeah, but that don't mean that this is you. And
right.
people have got so caught up in these zodiac, they let the zodiac sign speak for them. Oh, this
Mm-mm.
is how it's supposed to be. Then they start being that person. Like you crazy. Yeah,
Yeah. Like I'm a big zodiac nut, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, because I'm a Gemini, I'm this way. No,
yeah. You got people.
no,
Yeah,
no.
it's weird. It'd be like just be who you are, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A sign determines behavior. Some people will read that and start trying in that manner. Yeah, that also can be the reason why we don't get along because people are accepting who they are, how they are, and not trying to better themselves. You know what I'm saying?
See, no. I didn't realize, like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I began to change until I realized my kids started telling me some things that I used to do, like that my parents used to do that I didn't like, and I'm like, whoa. So I did that, and then I end up like making different things or different steps to change. But
Okay,
I think it's all, like you said, it's all up to the individual.
that
But personally, how people is nowadays, like relationships is important, but like I said, I really think people need to take into to knowing who they are first before jumping into another relationship because you don't know what kind of trauma you could put onto another person
I,
due to untreated trauma that you know you may have gone through or whoever. You know what I mean?
I agree, and that goes back to saying to what I'm about to say. Kind of goes back to what I said before, far as not being familiar with how even a relationship works. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
also the struggle is real with trying to maintain one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for real, like I'm just now like I got good sense, excellent sense, been had it. But as a 42-year-old man, I'm just like coming into terms with myself that a few years ago I ain't know shit about no relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
How to maintain a relationship. Like it's certain conversations in relationships that I wasn't willing to have. I I wasn't willing to explain myself to a female. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not finna be explaining myself to you. Stop asking me so motherfucking many questions. That was me, some years ago. But like, in order for shit to work, you gotta have certain conversations, man.
Yeah, you was not a person that was known to bite your tongue about nothing at
Well,
all.
no, but I choose to then like I didn't hold no punches. But although now I don't really hold punches, I can address it differently. Differently.
Right. It's a different approach.
Yeah, I don't have to have that energy, whatever you got saying. You know what I'm saying?
That
So
part.
I definitely
I would say
seek to learn and be different than how I was.
my look on relationships now, I have a totally different perspective from how I was when you met me 15, when I was 15 years old. Now, as a 41-year-old person, I look at relationships, and they don't even necessarily have to be romantic relationships. I think I look at relationships like, hey, how can I be a person in this? How can I be that person in this person's life where it'll be something that I did to make either you be better, I motivated you, or you are, or I'm a person of safety and comfort. That's how I look at things now. But I'm not going to jeopardize my peace for you either. So
Right.
I also make sure I set up certain boundaries. I don't allow certain energies to be around me
That's a good
if
thing.
it seemed like, you know,
You said something about being able to motivate each other, and that's a good thing to pay attention to because I'm like that as well. Like if I meet a person and I'm thinking or we thinking to go the long way, I'm thinking like this. If first and foremost, you got to be self motivated. You know?
right,
And if I'm not adding, like, excuse me, if I'm not adding to that motivation, like if fucking with me ain't motivating you more,
right,
you need to leave me alone. You know what I'm saying?
that part,
Because if I'm fucking with you and I'm already self motivated, but the the whole thing of us, jamming. If that shit ain't motivate me a extra something, then you know what?
right,
This ain't for us. You know what I'm saying?
that
Because
part,
whatever it is we got going on, supposed to be motivation within itself. You know what I'm saying?
right,
If that ain't sparking no flames to, you know what? Oh yeah, let me woo woo. Because sometimes we come encounter with different people that put a different spark to our fire.
right,
And
exactly,
that fire ain't spark. What's the purpose? You get what I'm saying? We can ease on about this motherfucker smoothly, or we can play around with it. You know what I'm saying? Keep on trying to play around with it. Now we getting frustrated with each other. Now this shit getting toxic. You know what I'm saying? Because
right,
ain't neither one of us being mindful of what we say to each other or
right,
do. You know what I'm saying? We forgot about the cutoff line. Now we in this month,
right,
our chests out, women portraying masculinity, men
hmm
might be doing more complaining, might just be might just be leaving the house, cheating, or whatever the case. It's all
hmm
because there's no motivation in the situation. You get what I'm saying?
no motivation, no vulnerability, and no communication.
There you go. Therefore, it needs to be diminished. Ain't no need for us to continue frustrating each other and just making things worse.
Right,
But again, don't know
right.
where to cut it off at because we so used to
So when do you cut it off? Like when do you finally cut it off?
that's what I'm saying. We as a people in our generation, we don't excuse me, we don't know. We haven't become aware of when to cut it off because we always let ourselves get to the frustration part before we even, you know, cut it off. We allow ourselves to get here tired of a motherfucker. You know, we gotta get tired of a motherfucker to be like, fuck you bitch ass nigga. Nah, nah,
Right,
nah.
right.
Instead of
Whereas this flat out blank disrespectful.
and then be like, you know what, we need to sit down.
Hmm
Woo woo blah 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 blah. I'm
hmm
here, you go over here. However it work out, a conversation need to be had versus
Right,
letting the shit level up, and then now we at each other fucking necks with
hmm
our words. You get what I'm saying?
right. Okay, let me give a good example. Me personally, I think when the cutoff is you let the person know up front, like you said, right away. But before even dating, you start to see things. Me personally,
True.
you start to see now. Me being the type of person that I am now, I'll come to them, but I don't be hard. I'll be like, "Hey,
We
I
be
know
so
that you
cut
did
up.
da 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 da."
We be so
That
caught
kind of
in that.
that made me kind of feel uncomfortable. I appreciate it if you don't do that. Do it again. Oh, I'm not going to come to you and tell you again. Now I'm seeing that obviously you don't take heed into what I had told you. You don't listen. And to me, my time is precious. You cannot get time back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Once I started seeing you doing things and I told you and I addressed you and we talked about it and you said, okay, cool, and you still doing it, okay, cut off. I move on.
Now with me, I'm tolerant of a lot of shit in relationships because I know life ain't easy. It's fucked up, and
Hmm.
it's going, some mistakes gonna occur. So I'm tolerant of a lot of things. I can overlook some shit. We're gonna fuck up as humans. This is just gonna happen.
Right.
Some things I ain't gonna overlook, but I am patient. Sometimes I can be too patient, and I learned to be patient because I didn't used to be patient. I used to be very,
Oh.
very quick, dry, snappy on it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But growing into myself is like, damn, I can't be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I learned to discipline myself to the extent where I became patient. But in some situations it may have hurted me in the past because I think I became too patient. You know?
Hmm.
So
I don't know. I have the 1, 2, 3 rule.
it's always a fine
It's stupid.
when to do something and when not to do it. Like we don't know when that time is right because like I
Right.
learning. We mid age.
Ho- hold on. Hold on. Ah. What? I don't know where it is. Oh, okay. I don't know where it. Yeah, you want to do that extra key right there? You looking for your to the Honda? Oh, okay, my bad. Um, no, I think because of all the stuff that I've been through,
That's what I was saying though. I was saying,
it's just off of experience now. It's just that my tolerance is only for a few things, but now I guess I'm at the age where I'm like, okay, if you're over 40s, you should be able to have common sense now.
but check it out. That's the way you and I may think. A lot of people,
Mm,
a lot of people are just coming into common sense at our age. You get what I'm saying?
okay,
Like the things that we learning in mid age, we're in our 40s. You know what I'm saying?
right,
The shit that we learning, other people in different nationalities learned when they were teenagers. You get what I'm saying?
right.
So we behind like a motherfucker, and it's hurting us. You know what I'm saying? We
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I think me when I okay, I grew up in Milwaukee mostly my teenage years, right? I grew up down south pretty much all my childhood. Then came up here my teenage, and then I left. Um, it's a lot of different cultures that I have been around, and it's a lot of different cultures I have dated. Um, I think one of the things that we have the issue that I forgot where I'm going because I hear that echo and it's throwing me off. Um, I think we don't explore and expand and try to learn more. Like I'm starting to come around more people now our age that are now anxious to learn more. But when we was younger, the little stuff that I used to like to do, they'd be like, that be we don't do that stuff, and I used to be like, yeah, we do that stuff. Come on, let's do it. You know
you know
what I mean?
a lot of people, and I'm gonna say a lot of older people, like people older, are scared to learn.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of stuff that they know really don't even matter no more. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
A lot of things that they was taught, bull crap. You know what I mean? And
mm,
it trickled down to us. But at some point, a light sparked in our head, which turned us around to even want to learn differently. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So we and don't get me wrong, it's people up that's just stuck in a zone. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when they come in to meet different people and younger people that they closed off, they closed minded, and it's creating this space between. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? If you got some motherfuckers,
mm,
they all the way right. They not willing to accept nothing from nobody else telling them something different.
yeah.
So that's another cause the ability to get along between us black men and women. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are entering relationships thinking we know it all and thinking that the way we was brought up is
The correct way.
written in stone way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I mean, it's some things that I do differently that my mom and my dad would never have done. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, you're right. You're right, and that does play an intricate part in how you go and approach people in different relationships too.
Correct. Correct. Well, Khadijah, we're gonna go ahead and cut this one short. We've been on here for a nice amount of
For
time.
an hour, I gave you a whole hour of footage. No, it's fine.
Appreciate it. I enjoy having this conversation with you. Um, when you get a chance, man, hit the like button, link, share. Tune into your people, have them check it out, and I'm gonna do the same, man. And we're gonna be back at it, man. Keep tuning in, and I'm gonna keep posting. Again, I
Okay,
your sportsmanship for real.
already. Well, you have a wonderful day, and we'll be back at this again.
All right, appreciate it.
All
Take it.
right, bye. All right.